Welcome back. I'm Tom Hewitt, and this is News 13's Eye on the Election. I'm here with David Watts, running for State House. And David, you are new to state politics, running in a new district, and your opponent, he's not an incumbent either. So what made you decide to jump into this race?
Well, I jumped in 6 years ago in what was District 7, State House District. And it was over the issue of the PERS and TERS, getting rid of the defined benefit program. I was opposed to that. And that was my first involvement in Alaska politics. Since then, I've been involved at varying levels in the Democratic Party. And this year, with redistricting, I found myself in a new district with no incumbent and no one particularly interested in running. The issue this year that I think will affect the future of this state for the next 10 years is the governor's proposal, House Bill 110, to reduce the oil production tax by roughly $2 billion a year. I spent the last 2 winters listening to the Senate hearings concerning the issue and became convinced that it was a very, very bad idea for Alaska. All loss, no gain. So, lacking anyone with a passion to step into the race, I did. And that passion is carrying me on now.
Mayor Luke Hopkins' plan for a borough-run natural gas utility seems to be the option for gas delivery to Fairbanks that community leaders are coalescing around in an effort to get state support and funding for some aspect of the project. Should you be elected, would you support the mayor's utility project, or would you have some other idea as far as getting natural gas to Fairbanks?
As I see it, there are 3 options open now. The 24-inch gas line that the state is pursuing from Prudhoe Bay to Tidewater, probably the Anchorage area. That is going to be several years out no matter what happens. The gas trucking option with the LNG plant on the slope, which they claim can put gas into Fairbanks at a reasonable price within 2 to 3 years. The third option that's still open is the 12-inch Arctic Fox line. I am totally in favor of getting lower priced, cleaner burning fuel into Fairbanks as soon as possible. The problem with the LNG trucking proposal is going to be getting the money out of the state to fund it. If I'm elected, I will go down to Juneau and work diligently to come up with that funding. If we find a lot of opposition toward it, then we're going to have to back up and see what else we can do.
I want to follow up on something you actually said a little bit earlier when you were mentioning options for natural gas delivery at Fairbanks. You didn't actually mention a full diameter pipeline that's been touted by various organizations from the North Slope to Tidewater. Do you think that, given the realities of what's going on right now, do you think that's unrealistic, or are you hopeful about that and just think it's so far off that we can't really count on it?
The whole gas industry worldwide is in major flux. LNG, liquefaction of gas, transportation on ships has been going on for 30 or 40 years now. It's a technology that is only now coming into its own. You have a number of issues that could adversely affect the viability, commercial viability of a large diameter gas line. You have gas fields coming online and liquefaction facilities. In Australia, of course, you have the world's largest liquefaction facilities in Qatar. And they can afford to sell the gas for virtually nothing due to the economics of their gas fields. We can't compete with that. Australia has got some tremendous gas reserves, and they're putting in vast liquefaction plants. Indonesia, and then we see that Russia or China is now getting a lot of their gas from Turkmenistan. there was a tremendous spike when the Japanese had to close down their nuclear plants. Tremendous spike in the spot price. That's going away. Now the Japanese are bargaining hard enough to say, we are going to de-link the price of gas that we buy from the world oil price, which is traditionally the way it's been priced. So the whole worldwide gas industry is in a tremendous amount of flux. Where it's going to settle out in the long term is questionable. If I was in charge of investing $30 or $40 billion, I wouldn't gamble it on trying to export gas from Alaska at this point. The Canadians are looking at installing major liquefaction facilities in Canada. The federal government is now pondering how many liquefaction facilities they're going to allow in the United States. That's up in the air too. I think it'll probably be 6 months to a year before someone can even have a firm enough grasp of what the picture is going to be in the future to even consider starting to plan for a large diameter gas line. In other words, yeah, that's a long ways off in the future.
All right, well, I think that's about all the time we have.
Okay.
But thanks very much, David, for coming in. And for the rest of you, don't go away just yet. We've got Jamie Schwartzwald coming up next with sports.